As we've been showing throughout the show, that today marks day 2 of the South Africa BRICS Business Council discussion on various work streams. Let's go back to my colleague Katlego Legodi, who is continuing with the discussions there on various issues, including aviation, infrastructure, as well as energy. Katlego, where are discussions at this particular point?
A very good afternoon to you, Criselda, and to our viewers at home as conversations continue behind closed doors where these work streams are concerned. We felt like this afternoon we should bring you into the heart of this BRICS Business Council, this SA BRICS Business Council that is taking place at the Gallagher Convention Center. This is where we just bring you into the trade fair. In this trade fair, that's where you find really businesses lined up here exhibiting and just showcasing their stuff. I'm going to get out of shot for Sitelo, my colleague, to show you what is happening here. We're seeing a lot of businesses just coming from various sectors, agricultural space, technology space, most of them just showcasing what South Africa is made of. Most of those women, or these women and men gathered here, Criselda, are looking to get the best out of this BRICS Summit that is taking place in the coming days. Most of them are just positioning themselves in terms of areas of trade. You know very well that South Africa has a variety of a lot of those sectors that would just see these men and women waking up every day to ensure that they add on to the GDP of the country. As we speak right now, we know very well that South Africa just exporting 8% of its agriculture into the world in terms of what has been happening earlier on. Speaking to Wandile Sekhobo, the chairperson of that working group looking at agriculture, saying that there's a lot that needs to be done here in terms of the export, in terms of ensuring that we get the best out of the agricultural space. They're looking at just coming through with a report that will just basically look at some of the issues that are coming out here. And we thought that, you know, this afternoon we should just speak to those role players to tell us really what are they hoping for when these conversations continue, where this BRICS Summit is concerned. Most of them are business people, and they're looking at ensuring that their products don't just end up here in South Africa, but they just go across borders and they just find meaning in terms of those exports coming out of this BRICS bloc. I'm going to bring into the conversation now Ntate Otswang from just the maize mill, just coming through to let us in on what they are doing here. Just Ntate Matsule, he'll let us in on their product. They are producing a maize mill, and he'll let us in on how they've been faring in terms of this agricultural space. Ntate, thank you very much for joining us on the SABC. We know very well that as the conversations continue behind closed doors, you at the heart of what is happening here are looking forward to just getting the best out of these high-level talks. Here we're speaking agriculture, and we're seeing that you're a producer of maize meal. Maybe let's start with you telling us about your product, and we'll go into the issues. Welcome to the SABC.
Thank you very much for having me on your program. I'm a farmer. I'm into crop production, field crop production, producing soya and maize. So 2 years back, I then decided to add value to my product. And the only product that came to my mind was maize meal, because, you know, maize meal is a staple food, not only in South Africa, but in Africa. So that is where I'm focused at the moment, but I'm still a farmer anyway. And coming here has opened a lot of doors. Yeah. New challenges, new deals, and new avenues. So it was important that I have attended this event of this magnitude.
How has it been, Ntate, as a farmer operating in this space? What are some of those challenges that you've experienced that you're hoping that this BRICS Summit here and some of those conversations coming out of this council will address, looking at what you're doing here on a daily?
You know, the biggest challenge in agriculture is funding. And not only emerging farmers are having challenges with funding, but even highly commercialized farmers are having very serious challenges when it comes to funding. I wish BRICS can find it easy, you know, as they will be perhaps going through the currency. But funding agriculture is very much important. So if they can unlock that, then the whole of Africa or the whole of BRICS partnership can go far.
Yeah. Do we still find black people finding a joy in this space? Do we see them breaking boundaries in terms of just getting the best out of this space, especially black emerging farmers that are operating and just producing their products so they find meaning elsewhere outside of South Africa?
Of course they are. Let me cite example, the province where I come from, the Free State. There are a lot of young people and females who are into agriculture, and they are not only producers, but they are also into adding value and agro processing. So they are finding joy, and watch the space. Within no time, the country will be different. But as long as we can quickly zoom into addressing agricultural funding, going to commercial banks is very difficult because they've got red tapes. And these other institutions, there are many, they are there with good programs, but they assume that we have been in the space for too long. So we are not able to meet their requirements. That's where we're asking the government to intervene and assist where possible. Then we are ready and we are willing to turn off the tables.
Where do we find, before I move, where do we find Sibata maize meal? If right now we want to just purchase, if we want to, and I'm outside of South Africa, do we find it also just moving into other countries outside of South Africa?
Yeah, currently it's available in Lesotho, and it's in the Free State, it's in Gauteng, and Eastern Cape, KZN, Mpumalanga. I've just made deals with people from Limpopo and the Northwest. So the brand is growing. And thanks to BRICS that I came here, and I'm looking forward, to making wonders.
Tate Paladi Matsule, thank you very much, sir. He's coming through from Sevata. They're a maize mill, and he's saying that, hey, even if you're outside of South Africa, you're in Lesotho, you can get your hands on this product, but just concerned about issues of funding and some of those red tapes that exist in this space. I'm going to bring in another just business person here. Just Matshidiso will let us in on the products that they are doing in terms of what they've been in the space of agriculture. And we know very well that chicken feed is very, very expensive right now. And this is why you've been seeing just a lot of challenges within the poultry space. I'm going to bring in Matshidiso, who'll just let us in on her product and just really some of those issues that have been plaguing some of this industry and what you're hoping to get out of this BRICS Council meeting here. Matshidiso, good afternoon. Welcome to the SABC.
Good afternoon. I'm Matshidiso Moketi. I'm from Barui Driehoek in the Northwest Province, and also Matimo Holdings in the Northern Cape, Kuruman to be precise. I'm here representing women in agriculture. We women would like to do it, but the problem, is funding. Access to funding is, a huge problem for us to make it, in this economy. I would like to ask BRICS that they should relax the red tape, especially of women who are applying for funding. Women should easily access funding, because once the economy is in women's hands, it's like the whole nation or the whole world will be able to eat. Yes. So, challenges are there. We are diversifying. We live on farms. What we do, we try to maximize the usage of the farm by augmenting the incomes, by introducing different, enterprises, so that at the end of the day, we make it in the commercial world. But other than that, without access to funding, capital, working capital, it makes farming, for your information, is not a walk in the park, unfortunately. So I would really ask them, I plead with them to relax, the red tape of funding women who have proven themselves that, they can make it. in the agricultural, sector.
I mean, there are issues of food security that, they're just up there. And when we look at some of these stumbling blocks, they add on to those challenges and concerns around where the country would find itself, where these issues and claims or just concerns around food security are just coming through and rife within the agricultural sector. Let's go through your products. Tell us about your products. I see that there's maize here. Yeah, it's an exciting one.
Yeah, like I explained.
Yeah.
We have to diversify. We have to try and augment the income. If one enterprise doesn't do well, you try, another one. We have developed this product. It's a newly developed product of pellets, And for us to reach to this, end product, we have ingredients to add. We have maize, we have lucerne, we have this, and the diesel, is one of them. Energy is one of them. So really, it makes, life difficult for us. It's really difficult out there, especially as women farmers. So we have developed this product. It is going for, testing at the SABC so that we can be able to produce at a larger scale and see if we can make it in the export market. Yes.
So everything of the best and everything of the best in terms of your product. And thank you very much for joining us on the SABC. Matshidiso Moketsi coming through there, just letting us in on Barui, what they are doing in this space. There have been concerns around just red tape. You hear her as a woman, a farmer, saying that really they are challenged as women farmers in terms of access to funding. But these concerns adding on to issues of food security. You heard in Tate Paladi as well, talking about some of those red tapes that exist here when they approach major banks for money and funding here. And they're really looking at just getting the best out of this BRICS bloc and this summit in ensuring that they remove these stumbling blocks and we get the best out of the agricultural sector. Criselda?
Great opportunity certainly there, Katlego, for those businesses to showcase what they have on offer. Thank you very much indeed from Gallagher Estate.